What's guys? Hope you've had a fantastic week so far. I was gonna bring us a Warhammer video. Gosh, I cannot speak. But I'm looking at the entire Space Marine One lore since Space Marine Two is coming out, and I wasn't really a Warhammer fan yet. Well, I wasn't even introduced to Warhammer yet when the first one came out. I feel like it's only appropriate to at least know the basics of Space Marine One before I go to number two, because that's just stupid. Because then like things will make sense, you'll miss on things, and you just don't appreciate the game as much. But I'm really hyped for it though, because I've seen some of the animations and some of the trailers for Space Marine 1. It's my early days of learning Warhammer about a year ago, and they slap hard. Titus is an absolute Chad. I believe I got the name right. But yeah, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped to watch this. I'm hyped to hear the lore about it. I'm hyped for the game. At the time of recording this, I know the game's been out for I believe a few days now, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm a little behind, but I don't want to get into that game until I know for sure that everything I got lore related is accurate and connects. So I'm super hyped. You guys can check the video in the description. Show them some love. You guys enjoy content. You guys enjoy reactions. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Let's get to it.
G'day guys and gal. With Space Marine 2 edging us extremely hard right now, being on the cusp of its highly anticipated release, I thought I may as well suck some milk from the hype cow and make some content about it. The lore of the Space Marine games is surprisingly deep and solid, with great characters, cool
As it should.
plot twists. I'm sure there's a few of you watching that has no clue what the hell is going on, and just saw that a video game of armored super soldiers cutting up space bugs of death looked dope as hell. So maybe you're looking for some context.
Pretty accurate.
To the right place. Before we get started, I'll be live streaming Space Marine 2 with a couple mates this Friday. We will be doing the 3-player co-op mode, so if you wanted to check out a stream since the start of this year, I'm launching a new company called Dice 16 that worked
Looks
on
dope,
the
though.
rings. Get it on and put in this bag. Titus would be dope, so all of you should be doing on for it. Today we'll go over the lore of Space Marine 1. In doing so, we'll provide context on the characters and setting for Space Marine 2, how it connects to the rest of Warhammer, if it is actually canon, and what happened between Space Marine 1 and Space Marine 2. Let's get into it.
Solid match. I don't know really what happened in Space Marine 1.
Feels fantastic to be officially part of the Transformers franchise.
Shit time for commercial or an ad. But yeah, no, I really don't know what happened in Space Marine 1 because that was well before I got into Warhammer. So this would be a nice little refresher. So when I start playing that game, I at least have somewhat of an idea, because you don't want to go to the second game and not know the first. That's just dumb. Especially a game like
Before we dive
Warhammer.
into the lore of
Dude.
Space Marine 1, some background info is necessary, as I do know that not everyone watching is a sweaty Warhammer virgin like myself and my usual viewers. In 40k, if you can't breed with it, then you should kill it, is the motto of most factions and races. Everyone is always killing each other. The good guys are the Imperium, and I say good in terms of being relative to the forces of hell, or the war-lusting orcs, or the space bugs of death that are trying to eat the entire galaxy, or the Dark Elder who want to mandate sandpaper as the official way to shave your balls.
They're less
The
evil.
largest empire in the galaxy, but it is constantly beset upon all sides by the other factions. In Space Marine 1, a valuable forge world has come under attack by the orcs, who wish to plunder its vast resources. The world has a bunch of titans on it, god machines of the Mechanicum that are more or less walking superweapons. They are sacred and expensive, so the Imperium was not willing to lose this world. In most situations, the Imperium just uses their near-infinite army of guardsmen to save these sorts of worlds, but due to its value, the world requested the Ultramarines' help, the Ultramarines being considered some of the most reliable and steadfast of the Imperium's warriors. Every Ultramarine is a genetically forged super soldier, 2 hearts, 3 lungs, and a lot of testosterone. Despite the fact that their dicks don't work, they are hard to kill, so make great video game protagonists in the way that it's actually lore friendly for them to shrug off bullet wounds. As opposed to a game like Far Cry where you literally eat like 100 kilos of lead over the course of the game and just walk it off. You play as second captain Dimitrian Titus, one of the highest ranking Ultramarines, known for his dedication and resourcefulness. Your task is to get onto the planet and delay and distract the orcs for long enough to allow a large fleet of Imperial Guardsmen to arrive and clean up. As such, you journey through the world with a small squad, slaying orcs left, right and center, as well as taking out key various orc weapons, like a ship here or an anti-air weapons platform there. Titus even finds a hot guardswoman waifu called Mira who wants to fuck him but can't due to Titus's crippling erection.
Why? It's just how he words it, man. It just gets me every time.
Dysfunction. Titus and friends eventually find an Inquisitor called Drogon. Inquisitors being extremely high-ranking, highly respected agents within the Imperium who undertake special missions to protect mankind. The Inquisitor says he's made a device that, if activated, could overload the brains of all the orcs on the planet and basically holocaust their tits off, saving the world. Titus accepts this information as Inquisitors are the kinds of people who would have these kind of devices. After more trials, orc killing and tribulation, the device is activated. However, instead of killing the orcs, it opens up a shitload of portals everywhere. Titus is a bit like, okay then, a good work dipshit, but continues his mission and soon comes face to face with the orc leader, War Boss Grimskull. However, before the epic showdown can commence, a legion of demons and chaos marines spew forth from the portals, led by Nemeroth, a chaos sorcerer. This is bad news. Instead of an orc invasion which could capture the planet's resources, a chaos invasion could turn the planet into a demon world, creating a massive problem for the Imperium for obvious reasons. It turns out Inquisitor Drogan was a pawn of chaos and manipulated Titus into helping chaos invade the world. To be fair to the Inquisitor, he didn't do this willingly. He had been killed and then his corpse resurrected as a puppet of chaos, which makes more sense.
Okay, I was about to say, there's no way an Inquisitor fell that easily. So he got killed, then got resurrected per se. That makes, okay, I can live with that.
Than an Inquisitor falling to chaos. Warboss Grimskull, pissed off by chaos interrupting a perfectly good scrap, tackles Nemeroth, allowing Titus and friends to escape and continue their mission. It becomes clear that for some reason, Titus shows an immense resistance to chaos or psychic power, indicating that he himself might have psychic powers of some kind, a trait often viewed with suspicion. One of his squad mates, Leandros, expresses his concerns, but is told to shut the fuck up, because they have more pressing matters. As they journey to try to destroy the device that opened up the portals, Grimskull catches up with Titus and the two finally get their showdown. Titus, being the protagonist, ends up blowing Grimskull's head to pieces, breaking the orc leadership and leaving Chaos as the big bad for the rest of the game. Titus and friends move on and manage to power up an experimental Titan and use it to blow up the source of the warp portals, closing them down. However, there was still a shitload of demons and chaos marines on the planet to deal with. Nemeroth catches up with Titus and friends and kills one of them, before proclaiming he will become a demon prince, an ascended super being of obscene power. Often whenever a servant of chaos proves themselves, the chaos gods...
I thought it was with a sword. He did it with the claw. Ah, shit.
Reward them with immortality via ascension to become a demon prince.
Oh, that's such a bad way to go.
Strange device and turn the world into a demon world, that would be considered good enough for ascension. Titus vows to kill the Chaos Champion before that happens, and he goes on a rampage, getting help from some Bloodraven Space Marines as well as more Ultramarines. He fights his way to Nemeroth, and the two punch on. Titus using his innate resistance to the warp to survive Nemeroth's bullshit hack attacks. After a good clobbering, Nemeroth has his brain smashed out like the bitch he is, breaking Chaos's grip on the world and saving it from a pretty terrible fate. Titus has saved the day, but because this is Warhammer, we aren't allowed a happy ending. As Titus is having his wounds attended to, an Inquisitor Thrax arrives on planet. It turns out that Leandros had reported Titus for heresy, as his seeming resistance to the warp is...
That's the thing I hate about Warhammer, man. They're all so brainwashed. It's so we got this Ultramarine who's one of the most decorated, one of the most elite veterans because he had those two little things in his head. It's 200 years of service, but just because he can fight against the warp or chaos a little bit, he's obviously a heretic because his brains didn't just spew out of his butt. Dumbasses.
Suspicious and could be interpreted as Titus already being corrupted and just hiding it. Although the chain of command in the Imperium is an absolute mess,
he literally just saved the world from chaos. So if he was corrupted by chaos in any form or way, why would he save the world from chaos? And he saved it from an orc invasion too, basically, because he took out the leadership. Oh my gosh.
The Inquisition is second only to the Primarchs, Custodes, and Emperor in terms of authority. Thus, Titus, a man of honor, allows himself to be taken into custody without issue in order to prevent his warriors from also being accused of heresy. He roasts the shit out of Leandros first though, because Leandros is a little fucking bitch. Unfortunately for Titus, Inquisitor Thrax is one of those fuckhead bitch-ass cock-licking Inquisitors who let their ego lead them. Thrax had a vendetta against Space Marines, so he tortured Titus, and when Titus maintained his loyalty and never broke, Thrax put him in stasis and left him there for nearly a century. Fortunately, Thrax would get possessed by a demon and killed by the Grey Knights during a mission, which are the Imperium's special demon hunter Space Marines, so Thrax's possessions were raided to determine if he was an agent of chaos. During this raid, they discovered Titus, as well as other Space Marines, and unfroze them. Unsure if these Marines should have been incarcerated or not, especially since most of their records had been struck and buried, they gave them over to the Death Watch, a special forces of Space Marines dedicated to the eradication of Xeno threats, where Titus was deemed pure and loyal. Titus was depressed to discover that all records of him in the Ultramarine chapter were expunged, so thinking himself a failure and embarrassment, he forsook his chapter and became a Black Shield, serving in the Death Watch. During a hectic mission, his squad was slain and he himself was mortally wounded when fighting against a Tyranid force, Titus personally slaying a Carnifex. As he was dying, his mighty and noble soul was detected by Tigurius, the chief wizard of the Ultramarines, who directed his ship to where Titus was. He was shocked to see Titus, his old friend, and they worked their ass off to save him, putting him through the surgery to make him a Primaris Marine, as that was the only way to save him. They succeeded. Titus lived and was stronger than ever. Titus asked about his shame and why he was removed from the Ultramarines records, to which he was told that the Ultramarines worked extremely hard to try get the Inquisition to return him. A second captain being taken into custody for heresy, especially the second captain of the Ultramarines, was a massive deal. Marnius Calgar, the chapter master of the Ultramarines, was so distraught and ashamed of losing Titus that he removed him from the Ultramarine records, as it was such a painful reminder of his failure. However, now that Titus was back, he was reinstated within the Ultramarine chapter with full honours and recognition. The only issue was now that Cato Sicarius was second company captain. Titus could not just take the role back, so he was given the role of Primaris Lieutenant. In his new role, Titus once again takes the fight to the enemy, setting the scene for Space Marine 2. Overall, pretty fucking dope
what a
lore.
W.
There is still more for us to discuss.
W
Is the
lore.
Space Marine franchise canon to the overall lore of 40k? Well, yes, but it's complicated. Originally, Space Marine 1 was not canon, as around that time, many video game adaptations liked making non-canon works so that they could twist and bend the source material to their own devices without pissing off fans of the original canon. The biggest canon conflict in Space Marine 1 was that Titus was second company captain. However, in actual canon, that role went to Cato Sicarius. However, in recent times, making video games or TV shows of franchises canon slaps hard. For example, the Fallout show. So they wanted to make Titus and the Space Marine games canon. To do this, they set Space Marine 1 over a century before the current setting, making Titus the second company captain before Cato.
Well
and
before.
that Titus's disappearance left the slot open. A pretty solid way to make it canon in my opinion.
Smart.
That plus there is now a Titus tabletop model ensures that he is truly canon. By extension, this also makes the new game Bolt Gun canon, as Malum Cato often invokes Titus's name and uses his chainsword. Plus it's set on the same planet as the first Space Marine game and has numerous references. So yes, Malum Cato being as powerful as a Primarch is canon as well. Do with that information what you will. So where does that leave us for Space Marine 2? Well, we will be fighting the Tyranids as they invade an Imperial world, and then at some point, the Thousand Sons get involved. So it does seem to follow a similar path to Space Marine 1, that being fight Xenos and then fight Chaos. One thing is certain though, it looks fun as fuck. I'm just keen to finally kick Leandros' snitching ass.
That was awesome, man. I did not know the lore was that deep, and how many different parts were played in that game. You know, it's like almost like how we said, like, you know, in Space Marine 2, we're following a similar plot to Space Marine 1. I'm like, well, you kind of have to, because how often is like the Ultramarines or other chapters going to be called up for a fight? It has to be some real shit. I think an Orc/Demon invasion and then their Tyranid invasion does qualify for such a response from the Imperium. So as long as I get to go in there and just slay a bunch of stuff and just have fun doing it, man, and level up my Space Marine and just have a good old time, I can't complain, man, dude. I'm hyped for it. Since I at least have a general idea of Space Marine 1, I know I can at least enjoy Space Marine 2 that much more, because I won't be like guessing or second guessing myself about stuff, or like thinking, well, why does this happen? Who's this? You know, so I'm super hyped. I hope you guys are hyped as well. Tell me what faction you guys are going to play, or chapter you guys are going to play in the description, or in the comments. Gosh, I can't talk, guys. I just got off work. I'm so sorry. Of course, I'll be playing as my boys, the Salamanders or Space Wolves. That's my boys. But just let me know what chapter you guys are going to pick, man. I'd love to hear about it. And like always, please check out the original video in the description. Show some love. If you guys enjoy my content, if you guys enjoy my actions, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next one. Take it easy.